Hey everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. In this week's video, I'm doing my July bullet journal spreads. I know they're a little bit late. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I worked a whole bunch of evening shifts in a row and I was on call a bunch, and then my family came to visit me and I really wasn't feeling that inspired. So it took me a while to finally settle on an idea. The first idea that came to mind was doing something stained glass related. Not really sure why. And then I was like, ooh, you know what? Spooky stained glass has always fascinated me. Why don't I make it like a Summerween stained glass type deal? So that's the theme for this month. And I apologize with how much my head is in this video. I really had to lean over apparently. Maybe it's because I can't think straight because it's so hot here that I'm like, my brain's melting, but anyways, so on my title page, I just have 07, because July is the 7th month of the year, and then July at the bottom of this window that I wrote in like an old English type font, and then I cut out little window panes so that we'd be able to see through into the mood tracker, which is what I'm coloring now. It's a skeleton with some like ribbons around it. The original design has a bunch of roses and whatnot, and it's beautiful. And I simplified it a little bit and just chose 2 colors, and then filling in the background will be what the mood tracker part is. And with the top and bottom blank, I figured that was a good place to put the habit trackers, so I did that. And then we move on to the calendar. This month's order of events is a little bit different just because of the fact that I wanted to make that kind of see-through window with the mood tracker. So ideally the calendar would have gone on the page opposite to the title page, but that didn't work out because of how I did June, so we're settling for doing it this way. The stained glass sun catcher type thing that I chose to do for the calendar was like a haunted house. The one that I referenced was like a little bit more green, but I was like, blues would make this nice. Does it look like a haunted house? No, it looks kind of like a church, but I think it looks nice anyways. I was experimenting with if the silver looked good around it, which is why I did that little part on the left first and then went ahead and did it. And while I was waiting for everything to dry, I moved on to week 1, which I chose to do these little spider webs. It's actually based on a spider web bookend, like a set of them. And I thought that was a really cool way to kind of add it into the corners there. I chose red, orange, and gold so that it would contrast nicely with the blue and silver on the opposite page. So now I'm just going back now that everything is mostly dry and finishing outlining everything in the silver color. Unfortunately, the silver does kind of rub off onto week 1, which is kind of frustrating because it's so different, but oh well, that's the price you have to pay when you're dealing with metallics, I guess. Moving on to week 2, the stained glass suncatcher thing I chose for this week was a little graveyard scene with a couple headstones, a pumpkin, and a ghost, and the moon. Here's where I really decided that my white Posca pen has died or run out of paint. I'm not sure, but I had to switch to my other one, which is super runny. I actually colored in the skeleton for the mood tracker last. I just reordered the clips, so otherwise I would have used my white Posca for that. But anyways, it's dead, so I'll have to get a new one. And then I just went ahead and outlined everything in silver and added blue for the words. Moving on to week 3, I did another one of those little pass-through like Dutch door type deals, and I picked this beautiful skull sitting in a garden. The original design had some mushrooms growing on a tree, but I don't have brown, so I turned it into a rock, and then I didn't like the yellow, so I just covered that up. I was originally also trying to follow the colors more closely with the original piece, but then decided it looked better with a limited color palette, so that's why I went with that. This is also the first time where I'm using a more gunmetal gray in order to outline the piece, and I actually like the way that it looks even better than the silver and gold, so I do continue with this throughout the rest of my bullet journal, and that's why the skeleton is done this way as well, because like I said, it was literally the last thing that I colored in. I think it's really cool to see how the whole thing kind of comes together once you add the line art, like if you do the coloring first and then draw in the lines afterwards. I just really like the way that it ended up turning out there. Moving on to week 4, again, I've chosen somebody's design of a cauldron bubbling and it had this nice little border, and I thought that would fit perfectly in the middle of the page. You may have noticed that I have not learned my lesson once with my Poscas exploding on me, and it's happened multiple times now at this point. Really, when I'm like doing the squishy thing to get the extra paint out, I should not do it where I'm planning on coloring because it makes a huge mess. And it happened no less than 3 times this month, and I'm pretty sure it happened approximately that many times last month too. So I haven't learned my lesson yet. Maybe I will for next month. Anyways, I followed the colors of the original artist's design. Mine are a little bit less cohesive, but it ended up working out. And then I just chose to separate this with the gunmetal gray again, because I liked the way that it looked, and I thought it would match nicely with the different contrasting colors there. And finally, last but not least, we have week 5, this is actually the first spooky stained glass thing that I saw. I just spiced it up a bit by adding some color and turning it into a rectangular one with some adjoining lines, as if the days of the week or the boxes to write in are actually part of the stained glass. So yeah, that is it. I am actually having surgery this week, so I'm not sure if I'll put out a video next week or if I'll just work on some projects and share some things to my Instagram. But anyways, here is my final flip through. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Mondays, sometimes on Wednesdays. Today it is Thursday because I was a little behind, as I said. But anyways, like I said, I'm having surgery, so I don't know when my next video is going to be. Hopefully soon. I hope you have a lovely week, and I will see you all in the next video.